welcome to Widow Too Soon. This is Mark Massaro, and I am here with my friend and co-host, the Michelleinator.
You really use that word.
Michelle Bader. What's up, Michelle?
Oh, getting married in 5 months. That's the biggest thing that I'm super excited about.
This little old thing?
Yeah, less than 5 months because March 18th will be our day, which I'm so excited. And something exciting. Well, you didn't ask me what happened, but I'll tell you what happens.
Hey, what happened?
It was the 1-year anniversary of when Joel and I decided, let me speak, when Joel and I decided to date, which was October 19th, 2021. So we celebrated 1 year just a few days ago. And that was exciting, just like reminiscing about that first day. I mean, it was really, let's be honest, it was me. He would tell you the truth too, that I was like, and I remember talking to you about this, like about how I liked him and I wasn't sure if he liked me and like this whole thing. And how I just finally one day was like, so do you like me or not? He's like, well, I never thought about it because you're long distance. And then I'm like, you never thought about it? When I've been like, dissecting every conversation for the past few months and trying to figure out if he liked me or not. And he'd never thought of it. I was like, are you kidding me?
I think you just caught him off guard. I'm pretty sure he had thought about it.
Yeah, no, we just went over this. Like he really had it. He's like, well, yeah, I thought you were pretty and I liked your personality, but I just didn't think about long distance. Like I'm in Louisiana, you're in Washington. I never even thought of that like that. I'm like, well, I did. Anyways, by the end of that day, he was in the airport coming back from Brazil. It was a whole thing. But by the end of the day, he was like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like,
nice.
Yes. Like, what does this mean? Like, we hadn't even seen each other yet in 20 some years, but it was like, it means we're not going to be like talking to anybody else. Like, we're just focusing on each other. We're not dating other people. I'm like, okay. And that's where it started. And then by the first time I saw him, he was like, I love you. And yeah, the rest is history. So anyways, celebrated a year. He sent flowers to my school, which is super sweet.
Oh,
and it was so
awesome.
Cute. Like the kids trying to read it. Like I let them read the card. It was like, happy 1-year anniversary of dating. You're the best thing that's happened to me. Love, Joel, or your fiance, Joel. And they were like, finance, like fiance was a weird word to them. This is 3rd grade.
And they don't speak French yet.
No. And then they all pronounce Joel, which it really looks like that in Brazil. That's how they pronounce it, apparently. And it looks like that phonetically because you would think it would be Jole if it was Joel, but it's Joel. Anyways, it was cute.
Yeah,
like
Noel.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the girls especially were like, oh, that's sweet. It was cute. So it was super cute that he sent me flowers at school. And, we just reminisced about like everything and how far we've come in a year and the lows and the highs and all of it and trying to, the grief that I'd been in, like loving after a loss and then like how we're engaged now, going to combine our families in 5 months and just it's crazy just to think back. So that's a big thing that happened. Also Hayden, my oldest, came home from college, so that was really fun.
Oh, that's cool. What, just like on a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was going to Spokane, which is like the closest city where there's an airport, and so anyways he flew out from there and came home just really quick, 2 nights, 3 days. And just so good to have him home. And it was a busy weekend because it was also homecoming. And so my other kids had a dance to go to. And so, Haley had all her friends come over and get ready. And we had friends staying with us. It was just like a crazy weekend because one of my best friends from high school, her son went with Haley as like kind of like a date, went with her to homecoming. So it was just like a busy, busy, busy time. And it was fun. So those are some of the things. Also been scoping out wedding venues.
Nice.
We set the date and now we're trying to narrow it down. So March in Washington is iffy. It could be like 80 degrees and sunny, or it could be like 32 and snowing. So we don't really know. So you have to pretty much get an indoor venue that has the option that you could make it outdoors, like this one barn we're looking at. So Joel will be here this weekend and together we'll make the decision of where it's going to be. So it's very exciting. His family's going to be able to be here from Boston. And I have like all my friends marking the date and are excited for us. I also had a girls' night where all these girls came over to celebrate and see my ring and hear the stories. And it was just, I felt really like loved and like they were all genuinely happy because all of those girls have seen like the whole thing. Well, most of them had seen since, well, actually even Stacy, who I didn't actually meet until after Luke knew the story from social media. So they've all seen me going from the darkest days to where I am today. And so I think it's important for our audience to know that you will be able to, like, your friends will rejoice with you. Like the true friends who really love you will be there to celebrate with you when you do find love again. So it was just a really, really fun day. Anyways, that's enough
I
about
like that.
me.
No, that's awesome.
It's enough about me.
Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yes. So what have you been doing the last couple weeks since we podcast?
Oh boy. I have been studying for the GED, which I meant to say the
Awesome.
real estate. But then let me start over and back that up.
Yeah.
I sort of gave some of it away, but so I've been studying my real estate, like mentioned in the last episode, and then found out that I also have to have a high school diploma, which embarrassingly I don't, but I have been on my own since I've been 16.
Right.
So, it was never explained to me why school was important. So I stopped going. So anyways, I can't regret the decisions of my youth at 42 years old. So anyways, I am now studying to also get my GED.
That's awesome.
At the same time as doing the real estate stuff. So it's a lot. I did, however, so there's 4 sections you have to pass. You have to pass a math section, a social studies, language arts, and science. And so far I whizzed the social studies section, which I guess
Nice.
it's important. I guess it's important to, have an interest in American politics.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I didn't even have to study for that one. And I got like 97th percentile,
Wow.
highest scores.
So awesome.
So yeah, actually I scored so high that they said I could get college credits for it, which was actually
Wow.
cool. So yeah, math, I will not do that. That will not happen in math. Like so I got to study, I got to learn all kinds of math that I don't know, which is frustrating and difficult.
Yeah. Like, is it going back to like algebra stuff or like
it's
calculus?
Algebra, it's graphs and statistics.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
What is it? I forgot. No, was it graphs and statistics? I don't know. Honestly, I'm
I
drawing
had
a
to take
blank
this
right
class in college called elementary statistics. And it was, I don't even know. Graphing statistics, anything that's to do with math, not my friend.
Yeah, me neither. It's so it's like data, statistics, probability, ratios, proportions, percentages, expressions, and polynomial.
I mean, I'm lost already just hearing that.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry you have to do that.
It sucks. I get so overwhelmed every time, but I'm not a quitter.
Nope,
still,
you'll do this.
I'm still pressing on, and I'm like, you know what? If I have to hire a tutor, then I have to hire a tutor.
Exactly.
But I'm trying to learn it on my own, and thankfully, we live in the age of YouTube.
Exactly.
So there's tons of YouTube videos of them explaining it, but it's funny because like every video I watch, I'm like, nope, I need to go more basic than that.
Yeah.
I have to go like back and back and back. So I'm hoping to find, a beginning, and then I can press forward. My sweet girlfriend came and visited.
Mystery
and that was
girl.
Mystery girl. Hey girl, hey.
Hey.
So that was really, really neat. And it was the sweetest thing ever. She took my daughter out for Girls' Day, and they went and got pedicures. They got their nails. Well, Alexis's nails done. And oh my gosh, my daughter was just sitting on top of the world. So then she went and bought her a really pretty dress. And they came back to my house, and the girls got all dressed up and put on makeup, and she did both of their hair, and they just looked real pretty. And then we went out to a really nice dinner, and Alexis was just like, everything was just like fancy to her. Like it was so just sweet. Oh my gosh. Like she was just drinking her cup a certain way, and she was just trying to be all like, so fancy. It was so cute.
Doesn't that make your heart like explode? Like,
oh my gosh,
so happy. And just looking at how God is restoring this whole, she'll always love Lacey as her mom, but God is providing someone else to be that for her right now. Like I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Like it's so exciting, and like
it's
I'm
incredible.
So happy.
It's beautiful. It really warms my heart. And of course, like of course, we would love that Lacey could have mothered her
Right.
through her life, but that's not one of the options that was given to us. This is definitely like the next best thing,
Right.
because she really loves my kids already, and she's just has this motherly instinct that is just so beautiful. And she's just so great with the kids, and so like soft towards them and sweet. And Luke was very young when mommy got sick, and
Right.
so he doesn't really remember what it's like to have a mommy.
Yeah.
And so and she is just so much different than I am,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
and parenting. And so and honestly, I'm a pretty I can be more motherly than most men. I'll just put it that way. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to say it, but I'm still fatherly. I'll still like
Yeah.
whoop their butt if they're, I mean, not really, but like, you know what I mean? Like I put them in line
Yes.
when I need to, and I don't let them
Yeah.
disrespect me. And there's just a different way that men approach discipline than women.
Right.
And I learned so much by watching women interact with
Yeah.
children that I'm like, gosh, like I'm over here like I would have just been like, you will do this or else, and
Yeah.
like that's the way dads do it. That's why it's
Yeah.
scary when dad comes home, right? And
Yeah.
but with women, they're y'all use common sense and like and reasoning and things that it just doesn't come naturally for a man.
Yeah.
But we're just like, you're gonna do it because I said so, where women are more like, well, why, buddy? Why
Yeah.
don't you want to eat it? And I'm like, you're gonna eat it or you're not gonna eat, and
Yeah.
so there's just he's not used to that that softness,
Yeah.
and so it's
love
really
that.
sweet for me to see it. And I'm like chopped liver when she's around. Like
Yeah, I'm sure.
they're like, hey, and I'm like, what? But I don't get offended or get my feelings hurt or anything, because I'm really happy for them that
Yeah.
that they have
That's
this
awesome.
this part of their life somewhat restored.
Yes.
And so anyways, that's what's been up with me. And there's probably been 20 other things. Weather is just gorgeous here, and all that
Nice.
blah blah blah. It's just beautiful.
Blah blah blah. Hey, I have one other thing, if you're done with your things.
No, yeah, please.
That's kind of exciting. I forgot to say Haley got her permit.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we started practicing driving yesterday. So she's in driver's ed. It's just like 1 month, every Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. So it's like intense for a month. But she is so much different than Hayden. It's very interesting. It's so much easier to teach her. Like, she is so cautious and like, so like, she's very like book smart. Like, she's really taking notes during the classes, and like, she knows the book part of it. And now she's just applying it. And so that's been pretty exciting. And I did tell her today, yeah, Daddy would be proud of you. You're doing a great job. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was kind of another exciting thing. And so how it works, I mean, she's already old enough. She's 16. In Washington, you have to have your permit for 6 months. So that means she should be able to get her license in April, which would be very exciting for her to take her brother to school. And I mean, they have to be there at 7:10 each morning. So I wouldn't mind if she can take them. So it'll be awesome. So
I will get you a car. I will get you whatever you need. Mommy's going to sleep.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind. So anyways, that was just another thing that was exciting. I wanted to share. So
that's super cool. Yeah, no, that's a huge one. And I'm sorry, you don't have to pause or anything, but can you give me 1 second? My dog keeps scratching at the door. It's driving me nuts. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, I'll just keep talking while he runs to the door. Isn't he funny? He's gonna hear this when he listens to this. He has no idea what I'm saying.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I just kept
she would not stop. I know I could hear you. She's been scratching for the last like 8 minutes. I don't know if you could hear that.
How could you hear without the headphones? Was it loud enough? I'm like, he doesn't
even
know what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
I was like,
I
want
heard
it to be funny when you listen to it later. Well, it was like a good idea, but yeah. Anyways, awesome. No, I know how it is, because sometimes Bentley is scratching at my door and it's insanely loud.
Yeah, like I just can't. So I thought if I ignored it, it would go away, but she's persistent.
Anyways.
So yeah, anyways, that's that. And I will add one more thing that Joel's family would probably hate on. But the New York Jets are doing pretty great this year. This is the first time I've been able to say this in like 15 years. I know nobody else cares but me,
I
but
don't even know why. Oh, because it's
I've been
opposite of Boston.
well, because they're that's like the Patriots,
Okay,
New
got it.
England, and the Jets, they're like, arch rivals. But anyways, no,
That's
I'm
awesome.
just teasing. It's just funny, like they've been like the worst team in football for like ever. I mean, not literally, but pretty much. And all of a sudden this year they're doing well.
Nice.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh,
Let's celebrate.
The Jets are actually higher in their division than the Patriots. Like I can't even remember the last time that's happened. And yeah, so all you Patriots fans out there, you could deal with it because I've been dealing with you guys being number one for a long time.
Long time.
Anyways, I just had to throw that in there because
nice.
this is sports podcast, right?
Right. Oh yeah, I'd be really good at that.
That's what we do. I know. Yeah, there are. You know what? There are a lot of women that like football. So.
I know. I'm just not one of them.
No, I know, but I'm just saying there might be some, out there because most of our audience is women. I think 75%,
something like that,
25, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so so today our episode is called, and this is a great segue. Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. Players gonna play. Come on, sing it with me.
I'm laughing too hard.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Haters gonna hate. Players gonna play.
Stop.
Players gonna play.
I can't think of that song without thinking of the Player Haters Ball, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyways.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyways.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. That's okay.
Haters most gonna hate. And I just have to give you props because you came up with this title and it was great. And it wasn't even a good start. It was like, whoa.
Usually when I think of an episode, it's I get 3 or 4. That was a good start, well, while I'm coming to the right name. We usually think of a topic, right? And then we have to think of we tried to think of a catchy title, something clever. And so, a lot of times I get the kindergarten teacher answer, it's a good start.
That's a really great start. Let's keep
which means no, keep going. Like, that's not it.
It's the nice way of saying that was awful.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
No, I really do mean it. Like that's a great start. It has some good words, but it's not quite there. But this one was like, love it.
But I thought about just what's been going on with you for starters. So why don't you tell us about haters gonna hate, what that means to you?
Yes, so I get a lot of haters on TikTok, and so they're not actually people I know, and they hide behind their phone and think they're all cool. And I've had so many comments about that I must not have loved Luke if I could be if I could be dating again. Now I'm engaged, so if you could be engaged again, you didn't really love him. Like I posted my engagement video and I actually added a lot of words and talked about how special it was that Joel put the diamonds from my originally wedding band in here. So like widows are really loving it. But there are a couple of haters, and one was actually a widow who pretty much say like you must never have loved your spouse if you're engaged already. And I put a little over 2 years ago, I became a widow. Okay, that's not even, it doesn't even matter if it was 2 months, but it was a little over 2 years ago. And on this one, I go,
and for you, it's not even 2 years ago. For you, like he was suffering your whole marriage, and it is 2 years ago. But just saying, like,
right,
there's things that people just can't understand. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, it's good. I'm trying to like pull up some of the comments. Most of them say, like this one. Okay, so opposite of haters for a minute. I've been widowed for 13 years. Only in my dreams could I have a moment like this. Congrats. I was widowed last year. This gives me hope. Like a lot of them. Okay, listen to this one. My husband passed away 2 years ago. I can't imagine loving anyone in the same way, but your story gives me hope. Congratulations. Like almost all of them are positive. Like this one, that is so sweet. I lost my husband 2 months ago. I can't imagine being happy like that again. Like they can't imagine it, but it gives them hope,
Yeah.
But then we got the opposite. So one of them, I was like, wait, all I wrote was, wait, are you a widow? And she said, yes. And then I said, so how could you say to another widow, you shouldn't love again? She's like, I didn't say that. I mean, you're making a mistake. It's too soon. And I said, we all have our own timelines. Like my timeline, I know I'm right. So, just those kind of people who say that. I mean, I've had so many of those on TikTok, and they don't really bother me. I actually see it as a way to educate people. Like a couple of these, I'm going to respond with a video to educate people that it does not, the length of time that you wait before you love again, date again, whatever, does not equal the amount of time that you loved your spouse. Like that is one of the biggest like widow myths. Like,
yeah. Well, and it just comes back to, haters gonna hate.
Yeah, hate is gonna hate.
There doesn't have to be like a motive. Like it just seems that there's certain people out there that like are bitter at the fact that you could be happy again. That seems to be the consistent trend that I see among the hate that I've seen you receive.
Right.
Is that they seem to just be upset that you're happy again.
Oh, I got a couple more here I haven't even read. From Luggy B1, she moved on pretty fast. And then from Philly Fan 063, love to see not she's sorry. Don't even know what that means. Like she moved on pretty fast. That's gonna get a reply in a video.
Yeah.
Wow. Here's another one. Wow, you move quick. Like these are little like hundreds of comments. Like why?
I don't get it. Like, yeah, like what did they get? So here's the thing. We learned this in elementary school. They do this to feel better about themselves.
Here's another one.
Oh, here's a good one.
These are live reactions from stay_puffed27. Okay, I'm not saying you can't move on or anything like that, but the ring thing is a bit creepy and weird. That I wanted the diamonds from Luke in it.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and look at this profile.
Creepy and weird. It's not.
Yeah, from a songwriter with 355 followers. Best of luck to you. And then here's another one. Oh yeah, this is the whole conversation with the widow I want to share with you. And you are dating already and getting engaged? And then I just wrote, wait, are you a widow? And she says, yes. And I wrote, I'm sorry for your loss. I was trying to stay respectful and kind. Why would you be surprised that I could love again? She said, not about loving again, about common sense. You are rushing it. And then I said, no one's timelines are exactly the same. I know my heart and where I'm at, and I know I'm ready. I wish you all the best in this difficult widow journey. And then she said, huge mistake, but good luck. And then I wrote, not a mistake. Again, I know where I'm at. Then somebody else chimes in. Definitely not a mistake to love again. Only you know when you're ready. Congratulations. There's another one. I haven't even read all this. As a fellow widow here, I find it very sad that you also as a widow would judge someone that found happiness again.
Yeah.
And then someone said, lie, troll. I don't know. And then someone else said, it's not a mistake. I like that he respects that your first husband loved you and he loves you again. So,
it's such a mixed response.
Yeah. Okay. Let me, I haven't even read some. Here's some. Yeah. Okay. This is the one who said,
this is entertaining.
It kind of is.
And I'm just sitting here eating my popcorn.
Right. And this only took 2 years. I'd say he doesn't even know how to speak. You wasn't ever in love. And then I wrote, you don't even have a clue how love after loss works. Are you a widow or widower? And then someone else says, unless you love, it says live, it don't comment and maybe do a spell check before posting. I don't know. Someone said, and this person said, the original guy writes back. Great. I never read this before. Called freedom of speech. I'll speak on what I want to. So go get, and then ... And then there's no responses.
I'm pretty sure I know what that ... means.
Wow. And then
I wasn't talking about your freedom of speech. I was talking about your inability to spell and speak.
Yeah, like what the heck? Like these people
that's just mess. So I get all bitter like about it because I've seen you through this journey. I remember you being so depressed that you didn't know how you were going to carry on. You didn't, you and I would just talk about how sucky this life is now.
Right.
Before we started this podcast and all of that, and so it bothers me that when people like say things like that, because like they don't know you, and like I don't know, it's just interesting that haters gonna hate. And I think it just goes back to all that. By the way, I can see on Michelle's face right now that she is just is so mad at these comments right now.
I'm writing to Stay Puff 27. Why is that creepy?
So see, you all get to see that she's responding in real time right now. You have to let
Real
us know.
time. Go follow me at Widow Goals for TikTok and read everybody's responses. Wow, you moved quick.
Go jump on Michelle.
Okay, so Eric Stobbs, who wrote "Wow, you move quick." I'm gonna say, how long should I wait?
How long would make you feel comfortable if I waited?
How long? Let's answer these in real time. How long would make you feel comfortable? So these people are so.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Like, what does it matter to somebody? Like, I don't understand why it would even matter to them enough to go out of their way to comment.
Right. I hope some of these respond while we're talking so I can tell you what they're saying.
Yeah, that's great.
But most of them, I'm not reading the hundreds that are congratulations, beautiful moment. This made me cry. Congratulations. This is just so pure. Congratulations. Love your story. Congratulations. May you have forever together. Congratulations. Oh, there was an interesting one. And it was like, congratulations, your husband sent him to you. Well, oh, wait, hold on.
Some people might believe that. I don't, but.
Okay, I have to do something. I have this app called Be Real, and you have to take a picture the moment that it comes on. Okay. So smile. Okay. Okay, my kids got me into it. So the moment, so everyone's phone, I got Joel into it. He's doing it now. The moment that it comes out, you have to make a post, like what you're doing. So you don't have time to filter and look all cute. It's just like, this is what I'm doing. Oh, I got to retake that one though. I can't post.
No, you can't. You got to be real.
Hold on. I have to. Like, I look like this. I look like this.
Does it really give you the option to retake it?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of defeating the whole?
But I heard from Deborah.
Michelle's sitting here taking selfies right now.
Hold on. It's called Be Real. Well, smile because you're in it too, because it's doing this side.
Oh, what?
Yeah, see, smile. Okay, so I'm sending it, and then I'm just gonna write podcasting. I only have 5 friends. It's my kids, my niece, Deborah, and Joel. So it's not like a big deal, but I like it. So it's like this thing.
Well, if anything happens like TikTok, then there will be like hundreds of thousands of people pretty soon.
No.
How many people follow you on TikTok now?
Oh, well, it depends which account.
Dang.
Well, I have my author account. I'm like thousands.
Okay.
Oh, but I thought you
got
Instagram.
So many you started.
Never mind. I'm Instagram. No, TikTok. It went up like 500 since that video. So it's like 17,200, something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Podcasting. Oh, they actually have this on TikTok too. Maybe we'll do that too. Anyways.
So yeah, see, that's why I can't TikTok.
Why?
Because I don't want to deal with people hate. I don't want people knowing my business, like to even give them the opportunity to hate.
Yeah, but then we can educate people.
At least people listening to our podcast are like people who want to. I mean, they're selectively. Yeah. It's not like they're just scrolling through and seeing a video and they just decide to, be a hater and hate.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Okay.
At least I get a chance that people hear me out before they decide if they hate me or not.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, sorry, I'm being distracted.
No, it's
okay. I need to get back to, we're talking about haters.
So yes, so what I want to say is that everyone who hates his brother is a murderer. Ooh. And you know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him, John 3:15. So none of us are supposed to hate. We're all guilty of it, right? I mean, we're sitting here hating on the haters. And so it's it's one of those things that we try to practice what we preach, and so we have to choose to still love people and just understand that those people that are hating, but we just wanted to show you that Michelle and I are real, and we we have emotions, and
do we? I get a little fired
up. We get a little fired up, but we have to check ourselves and say, you know what,
before you wreck yourself. Sorry, I had to say
diggity deck yourself before you wreck yourself.
I thought it was check yourself.
It is. It's check yourself, wreck yourself, diggity deck yourself.
Anyways,
just depends which verse. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, we're talking 90s hip hop all of a sudden out of nowhere. So anyways, we have to give people grace, right? Even the haters. I mean, I've dealt with, so mine hasn't been social media hate. But I've heard about a lot of hate. I've experienced a lot of hearing what people think I should be doing. And never, not often do I hear it directly to me. I heard it like behind my back, and
Right.
People think you should be doing this and doing that and the other thing and blah blah blah. And nobody's in your shoes, and you just
True
have to give
that.
them grace, because I myself am very guilty of it. I get heated. I get really annoyed and frustrated when I don't get a chance to defend myself and explain the whys of why I do what I do. I'm not good at just letting things go. I want people to know that that's
Right.
unfair, that they're just judging me, and that they're not in my shoes. And I haven't experienced a whole lot of it, but I've heard about a whole lot of it happening to other people, and it really bothers me. I mean, I've heard stories of, and thankfully I'm nowhere near, and neither are you, this position, but I've heard stories where like the in-laws are just hating on
Right.
the widow after
Mhm.
losing, their husband, the in-law's son. I've heard some horror stories of like, well, whatever, just like
Yeah.
horrible things. And I'm sure with the amount of listeners we've had, that a lot of you are sitting there going, yup, like I experienced that. Or for those of us that are far enough out that we've, considered dating again, or are dating again, or fall in love again, you have to deal with the stuff that Michelle was just reading to you. And it happens. Most people won't have the courage to say it to your face. There are a special few that will. But you're going to hear about it from other people. Oh, this person said that you shouldn't be dating, and this person said this, and I heard this. And, you have to decide. This is the most important thing from all of this, is that you have to decide, are you going to decide your future?
Right.
Or are you going to let others decide your future? Because I know that it's not fair to you. You've already been through so much to be worried about what other people think. If other people think that it's too soon for me to be dating somebody else, that's their opinion, and they have the right to that opinion. But I'm not going to sacrifice my own happiness because other people think what I'm doing. Either they are foolish and think that it means that I didn't love Lacey as much as they love their spouse. But like I said in the last episode, it's very easy to talk about what you would do in my situation when you're not in my situation. It's very easy to talk about how long you would wait to date again.
Yeah, when you're not in it.
If your husband's coming home in an hour from work, it's very easy to talk about how you could never do that.
Right.
But see what it feels like to be alone every night and to eat dinner by yourself every night. And really picture that, really picture being alone in everything you do, every decision, every movie you watch, every TV show, every time you go to Target, every time you go to the grocery store, and you're now shopping for one. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Word.
Word. Can I get a word? I like that. I like that better.
No, it's true.
But it is. It's like, try it out for a month, and then tell me that you're not the loneliest you've ever experienced in your life. And then you have your first stressful situation, buying a car, not knowing what to do. The kids are acting out. You don't know how to respond to it. Well, that one person that you used to talk to about everything is gone. Now you have to figure everything out internally in your brain, and then multiply that by 2 years. A year, whatever, how long it is for the person before they start dating again. I know of people who started dating. I don't know them. I know of them. Started dating 3 weeks after their spouse died. And you can only imagine the heat that they got. I understood it. It wasn't where I was at in 3 weeks, but I understood it. I was like, oh yeah, no, it's a sucky place to be. It's a very lonely, horrible place. Then again, I've heard people say it's been 5 years and I can't even consider dating. I understand that too. And so, anyways, then there's I want to date. I just don't know how. I want to date, but I don't think I can. All that stuff is understandable, but until you've actually walked it, I'm sorry, you don't get an opinion. Like,
no.
not only is your opinion less valid, like you don't get an opinion because you haven't walked it. Anyways, there's my, Mark, calm down.
Interesting. Today I was listening to a podcast about speaking and stuff because I want to do more speaking, and it was talking about you wouldn't take someone's opinion about something they knew nothing about. Like, she said if someone didn't like running, you wouldn't ask their opinion about like if you should run or not, or just things about running.
Yeah.
So if someone's not a widow, like that's why you can listen to us, because we have been there. We can say we understand, but don't take advice about these things too, like from someone who's not a widow. Like they don't know. Like they can be book smart about it. Like even like counselors, like if they haven't actually been through it, they don't really know.
Right.
They've read about it in books, but unless they've actually become a widow or widower, like they don't know. And so, not that you can't go to, my counselor's great and she's not a widow, but there's just something about someone who's been through it. And so don't listen to these people who, and then you get, like I was saying, like there's the widows who, just because they're a widow doesn't mean their opinion's right. But, like saying,
us too.
Yeah. It doesn't mean ours is the exact right thing, but like, it's between you and God. Like pray about things. Like he's really the authority on everything, not us, not another widow, not the doctor. Like God is the authority. And so that's really where it needs to be. Like if you're not sure if you should be dating, like pray about it. God will give you peace or not peace about it. And God will bring the right person if it's the right time for you. And we talked about both of our love stories last week and how God brought people to us in like the most unconventional ways that we would have never imagined, like when we started this widow journey, like how, we had discussions of how will we ever find someone again, like all these things. And we had no clue. Well, so Mark, you guys want to start a podcast and, you're going to meet somebody, and Michelle, you're going to reconnect with someone through social media on Facebook that you went to college with. Like we would have never, ever imagined it. That's the way that God did it. And anyways, the point is like,
no, I love it.
God is the authority, not anybody else like that.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because like it's like, well, it's like you were saying. So for starters, and I've mentioned this before as a network marketing thing, but like, you're not going to take financial advice from somebody who's broke. Yeah, like you're not going to let somebody who's been broke their whole life tell you how to become a millionaire. It's not going to make any sense to you. Also, that's why I stopped seeing a therapist, because he had never been through this. And I was like, why am I paying this dude so much money when I'm telling him what it's like?
Yeah.
And it just didn't. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but just for what I was looking for in that season of life, he wasn't the answer. He was a really nice guy. I really liked him. I would have loved to be friends with him. Not for $150 an hour, but that's all another story. But it was, I learned some techniques and things like that, but I was like, he doesn't, there's things that I'm telling him and he's like, oh, wow, that's insightful, and I'm like, you should be giving me the insights. Like, why am I, anyways, he was a good Christian man. I really liked him, but, it was just kind of funny, but there's, here's the thing too. Here's advice that I've given people before when they've been afraid about, I've had people say, I've thought about dating and, but I'm really afraid of, for example, I've heard what my in-laws will think. Well, you and I understand that. We went through a season of that, even though we both have really great, loving, understanding in-laws. It's still, you don't want to be disrespectful. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
But, or friends, my friends don't think I should be dating and this and that. And here's my advice to them. And so here's my advice to you and the widowed community, if that's where you're at. Are those people giving you those opinions? Are they coming over and spending the evenings with you? Are they making you feel good about yourself? Are they making you feel pretty or handsome? Are they making you feel talented or smart? Are they coming over and making you dinner? Are they the one that's hugging you and kissing you goodnight and telling you they love you? No, most times the answer to that is no. And so you cannot let somebody else dictate your future happiness because of what they think. They can think what they want to think, and either they will come around to it if they think it's too soon, if they think you're making a bad idea, whatever. you can either prove them right or prove them wrong. But you got to at least give yourself a chance to know what you believe. If you believe that this person is good for you, somebody else might not. You got to follow what you believe, because again, if this guy or girl treats you well and makes you feel good about yourself, makes you feel alive again, that's the feeling you need to chase. Which feeling makes you feel better? I think the feeling of feeling alive again and feeling loved again and cared about again, that's the feeling you should chase, not the I want to please people and I want to live my life for other people.
Right.
And you should live your life for Christ and Christ alone.
Yeah.
And if you feel a good feeling in your heart about somebody, chase that.
Yeah.
Chase that. And the worst thing that can happen is, okay, it's wrong. And you might have to go through a breakup and, you know, maybe somebody says, I told you so. And, you know, all these other negative things, but the positive far outweighs the potential negatives.
Right.
First of all, to like learn that even if it doesn't work out, but you learn that like, hey, you know what, like I can do this. I can love somebody again. I can, you know, whatever. But the potential of finding another person that you fall deeply in love with, and, it's just beautiful. So anyway,
well, kind of along that lines, and then I have a social media update.
Yes.
Like, and don't be afraid to start dating in, and it's probably not going to be the very first person you're dating. It could be, but we both had a few experiences before finding our person, and I don't regret those experiences because they all taught me that I could love again. Like I could feel again, more like feel again. Like I could feel again. I could actually like go on a date with someone and it was okay. And I feel like those were stepping stones to where I am today. And for me being ready to date Joel at the time, like the timelines all had to work out. Like I had to go through these things, these relationships and figure it out to get to where I am today. And so I want to encourage our audience, our fans, no, the people listening, our listeners, I like that word better, that it's, even if you start a relationship and it doesn't end up, and like, don't feel like you're tied into it. Oh no, I have to like stay with this person. If it's not the right person, if they don't bring you joy, if it doesn't, like, if that person doesn't help you become a better person, you know, or whatever reasons, like, don't feel like you're stuck in it. Like, I feel like I had to have those very first experiences in order to be ready, until like I had to go through them to be ready for who I am now to be engaged to Joel. Like it was all part of the process. So I just want to encourage people just to feel free. Like if you, it doesn't mean you're committing forever. If you start dating somebody and you're like, it doesn't really, you know, this isn't going to work out for whatever reasons. So just wanted to.
No, I love that. And I also wanted to add on to what I was saying, that just because if your friends or family have concerns, that does not make them a hater.
That is true.
Because nobody wants to see you in your vulnerability, fall in love with a guy or girl who's not as good as the person you were with or something like that. And they don't want to see you settle. So I had friends that were concerned, that were kind of like, hey, like, just be careful and things like that, or we'll pray for you to have discernment and things like that. For me, that was like, all right, that's cool. Like, thanks. That's not being a hater. That's caring about your well-being and, you know, things like that. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Totally just like burped on air. That's awesome. That just came out of nowhere. Excuse me. Haters gonna hate, whatever. But yeah, no. So I just, you know, I wanted to add that because, you know, and get yourself like, use this time. Honestly, this is totally separate, but you can really utilize this time to see who your real friends are. To be honest, you know, because like there's people that want to see you happy. Those are your real friends, and that they just want to see you happy. And like I had a friend tell me, you know, it's kind of weird for me to see you with someone else, but I'm really happy that you're happy. At first, I was like, I don't need to know that it's weird for you, because I've been dealing with weirdness for the past 2 years, and that's putting it mildly. I'm happy again. That's, but then after I thought about it for a little bit and I was like, no, like that's really cool. That's really cool. That's
right.
And anyway, I have a lot of good friends now that just, they've expressed that they just want. My friend Chris, for example, I know I bring him up often, but he's just such a unique guy. He's just always, every time I could just tell him anything. And I don't get any judgment from him ever. I don't get any, and they knew Lacey. They were friends with Lacey. I never gotten any like weird vibes from him when I told him I was dating this or trying this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just, hey man, I'll pray for you. We just want to see you happy, and I just love that. That's just, that's so real and genuine, Right. So anyway, so give us the spiel, give us the update. What's going on over there in Michelle land?
1 second. I wanted to say this. I had a dream a couple nights ago. It was so weird about two of, they were my friends. Also, one of them I was closer with than the other. They were both of them. Their husbands were really close with Luke. Like they were in our wedding, all that stuff. So I had a dream these two girls were not speaking to me because they were upset that I was engaged. And in real life, one of them, we don't normally talk anyways, but the other one, we were pretty close. She was there for me right after Luke died and everything. I haven't talked to her in over a year. And so I started freaking out, like maybe she really is upset. And I haven't called her yet, but she's on my list to call because this dream was so big. Like they did not want me to be marrying someone else. But I don't think that's really it. But anyway, side note.
No,
TikTok.
It's probably not. But yeah, that's what we do. That's all I was going to say. I do that stuff too because I'm anyone who knows the Enneagram. I'm a 6 on the Enneagram, so I'm always filling in the blanks of what someone must be thinking. Right. And it's usually the worst thing possible. Yeah. I'm like, they must hate me, and just think I'm a terrible person.
Right.
Yeah. And you're probably wrong. I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so update on the creepy comment. She actually was a little nicer in the second one where I said, why is this creepy? And I think it's a girl. I think it is. She said, maybe creepy isn't the right word. It's just weird to have your past relationship be such a big part of your new relationship. On the other hand, this has nothing to do with me. So take my opinion for what it's worth, which is literally nothing. Glad you're happy. So she ended it nicely. Yeah. But I don't think it's right to say it's weird to have it such a big part. Like, and then someone else asked, did he ask before he tampered with your other wedding ring? I'm like, I gave it to them. Like
he stole it.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna have to answer that one too. Like, no, we thought of this idea together and I took it to the jeweler.
At least that girl, I think that was her way of, kind of like interjecting her last, 2 cents. Rather than just fully like saying, because really she hit the nail on the head with the last part, which is which is my opinion, which means absolutely nothing, because it does mean absolutely nothing. What does it have to do with your marriage to Joel? That's between you and Joel, like that is nothing, not some random TikTok person.
I'm gonna put, it is hard for people who aren't widows to understand.
Oh, is she not even a widow?
Don't think so. Pretty sure when I went, she looked like a young girl. It is hard for people who aren't widows to understand how.
Well, we do know there's a lot of young widows, but still.
No, it didn't. And there was nothing on her profile to indicate widow. I mean, it doesn't mean she's not, but I'm assuming she's not. Like, so she'll come back and say she is.
No, I know we do have a listener that she's widowed at 21.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I won't say her name just for the sake of privacy, but yeah, she's widowed at 21.
Sad.
Another listener actually, that she's pretty young too. I think she's like 24. Again, I'm not, gonna start name dropping people, but some people that have reached out for advice or are just friends or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's just, of course, they don't have the length of time that we do,
right,
in their marriages, but that doesn't. I don't know. I mean, there is obviously something to that, because you think of our friend and listener, Dwayne, who is married, what did we figure out? Like 2.5 times as long as we were?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so obviously there is a lot of significance to that, but I don't want to take away from anybody just because they weren't married for a long time. Love is love, and so I don't want to say somebody that was married for a year or two, like somehow that they're less of a widow, of course.
Exactly.
And especially when there were kids involved. One of the girls she has, I think 21-year-old, I think they have 2 kids.
Wow.
And I mean, gosh, talk about scary, raising two little kids alone, especially when your husband was the income earner.
Yeah.
And you were a stay-at-home mom. And like, I know a lot of our listeners understand because they've, gosh, that's a lot of things people don't even think about for us is like how much of a wrench is really thrown in the mix when you're widowed. It's not just on the surface, the things they see. It's also like how much different life is now.
Right.
All the different challenges that they just so many, you're just so alone in everything. And it's really hard to get people to understand what that level of loneliness is like, because it's like, whoa, this is like, they're gone like forever.
Yeah.
And it hits you sometimes. You're just like, gosh, like this is crazy. Update. But yeah.
Well, I went to the profile. It's actually a guy and he's married. So he doesn't understand unless he's married again. It says married to somebody else. So anyways.
Wait, the same person you were just talking about?
Yeah, it's actually a guy. There was a girl in the video, but the mostly guy video. So I'm pretty sure it's guy. And then it says married.
I know that dude.
You know that dude?
No, I'm just kidding. You were just showing his picture. I had to reply. Yeah. That's okay. So that's weird. That's usually more of like a, I don't know, whatever. I'll just leave that alone. I was just gonna say that's usually not something dudes do, is go and talk smack on women
actually
on Facebook,
a lot of them are guys.
Really?
A lot of them, yes. Oh, and one of them,
maybe that bothers them that they picture that their wife would move on if they ever, not move on. You know what I mean? I hate that. We hate that term, but I just kind of slipped and said that. But maybe the idea of their wife finding love again after 2 years to them is like an unacceptable amount of time because they're,
they think
maybe they lack the confidence. I wasn't worried. I wanted Lacey to be happy. If anything, we talked about it. I was like, if anything ever happens to me, just to be clear, like, I don't want you to be alone,
Yeah. Okay. So there was a funny comment. I don't have it in front of me, but I remember it's kind of rude, but kind of funny. Because, in the video, I say, are you kidding? Like a million times. So I think it's a guy who wrote it was like, after the third, are you kidding? I'd be like, never mind. I haven't even told Joel that one yet.
That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty funny. Because even Joel was like, yes, like, I'm serious or whatever.
Are you kidding? I was just in such shock.
Or he's all no or something.
I don't know. It was just like funny. I was in such shock that
yeah, well, of course. Like, it's a shock. You weren't expecting it,
Exactly.
So it makes sense, but that's just so funny. At least that's not like, he's trying to be funny. He's not trying to be hateful,
Yeah, I don't think it was very hateful, but I was like, what? Someone wrote, no, don't do it.
Oh gosh.
From some JMMM Sparky. It looks like a girl.
Relax. Don't do it. Don't make your stupid comments.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are seeing real time. Like, yes, it does bother me for a second, but then it's just like, really? And then I really do like to use it on TikTok to like make a video to educate people. Like,
well, let's okay, so we're in real time right now.
Real time.
Right. So this is when I made that video on our Facebook page, I wanted to show people in real time how I was handling a grief moment. Remember, I said I was like sitting around on my couch and I don't know if you ever saw that video I made. And then I said I went out for a walk. Because I wanted to, make, and it totally helped. But so in real time, you're reading these comments and you're frustrated about them. So how do you handle this? How do you handle the haters are going to hate?
I actually have a video that tells you how I handle it. It goes, shake it off, shake it off. So I feel it.
Oh, that's great.
For a second. And then I'm like, they have no idea. And then I usually, and I, like you saw, I do it respectfully. I'm sorry for your loss, but why don't, I respond, nicely. And
well, not just comments. I mean, in your heart, because it's not all of us that it's, social media stuff. It might be
it's like
somebody said,
give them grace. They have no idea what they're talking about. Or they are a widow and they don't understand because they're not in my position. they haven't found love again, so they don't know, like, and also that they have no power over my life.
So. Yeah, that's good. I don't have those abilities, to be honest with you. I carry it around and I get really, really upset about it. Like, I can't, and I have to like go to God in prayer and like choose to like let things go, because it really bothers me and it really feels unfair when I feel like people are judging me without like even talking to me and asking me. Like, I feel like what would be fair is if people asked me, why do you feel that way? Or why are you doing the thing you're doing? And I had a chance to explain myself.
Yeah.
And they disagreed with it. I think that'd be fair. But drawing conclusions about why I'm doing what I'm doing on their own and saying why it's wrong on their own, like, really bothers me. My mother-in-law has given me great wisdom that I just need to know my own heart. I need to know the reasons why I do what I do, and that should be enough. And that's the oversimplified version of it. We've had many long conversations about it, but it's the truth. It's great, great wisdom, because I can't worry about what other people think about me.
Right.
It's hard. I'm not great at it, but I really need to learn how to do that. It's a interesting world we live in with the internet.
For real.
It makes people able to, like, people don't do this stuff to your face.
Yeah.
People don't have the courage to tell you what they think to your face. They'll either say it behind your back or they say it behind a screen. Yeah. And so it's, it makes it frustrating, but this episode is about haters gonna hate. And so we've done our, our fair share of like voicing our frustrations at that. But we also want to point you back to good, positive, wisdom that is biblical. And what would that be? That God is the giver of wrath. It's not on us to make things just and to make things right. And that's what I want. That's what all humans want. We're created with that. We have a desire for things to be just and fair. But that's not our place to do it. So retaliation is never going to be the answer. It's never going to make things worse. Do I always take that approach though? No, I don't. I've often, replied. I'll just say that I've, replied, and I can see you're lost in it right now. You're reading more comments,
listening, but
I can totally see you're scrolling through these comments.
Well, I missed some. It's interesting. Like, this isn't a bad one from Travis.
I hope they're all good.
Well, there's a lot of good ones. This one says, I love my single life. I never could imagine giving it up again for a relationship or marriage. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to say to him, that is completely.
That sounds like and I'm not saying that sounds like somebody who's divorced. That doesn't sound like somebody who's widowed.
Yes. I'm just
yeah, I think that's probably best.
Okay, I need to focus. Yeah. So they don't say anything like, wait, are you a widow? No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside and completely focus. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think it was very interesting and entertaining because it's kind of exactly what we're talking about.
I know, right?
What's besides social media?
Okay, yes, let's focus.
Tell me something that you've experienced, witnessed, or heard about somebody getting hated on for some decision they made in widowhood. It doesn't have to be about dating.
Okay, well, this is about dating in two different experiences. Two different people had said this to me. One, a close friend, one more like an acquaintance. And I've talked about it on other episodes, but since this is what we're talking about, I'll say it. They both said to me, if my husband died, I could never get married again. And one of them, the good friend, she has since changed that. In fact, we've had conversations recently about this, that even her husband and her have talked about it, that he'd want her to move forward and all of that stuff. But to the first one, the good friend, I was like, you don't know. Like you don't know until you're like, I was speaking up more, like, you don't know until you're in that situation. And the other one too, I said something like that. She's like, nope, we've been dating for, I mean, we've been married for 20 years, whatever. I couldn't. I'm like, okay, I just had to leave it. Like, I just had to take a deep breath and be like, they don't know. It's okay. So that's
Mhm.
one situation that was like people telling me like that they would never do that. So it's not exactly hating on me, but kind of like I wouldn't do that.
Right. Well,
Um,
and you're right, because what are your options? You can either accept that they just don't know,
yeah.
or you can sit there and try to convince them. That's not
Mhm.
really going to solve anything,
Yeah.
like what does it matter? And that's okay. I'd rather, like I've said before, I would rather people be ignorant than
Yeah.
have to feel it and find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't want anyone to have to ever become a widow or widower.
Yeah,
I
because it's
can't.
like, well, I've been with them for 20 years. It's like, yeah, you have. And guess
Mhm.
what? That's going to magnify the loneliness. That's going
Yeah.
to intensify the loneliness because you've had somebody for so long to go
Yeah.
to for any little thing. I had a tough day. Well, guess what? You don't get to talk to anybody about it anymore. You get to think
Mhm.
about it now. That's it. You think about it, maybe you journal and write about it.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody to talk about. But anyways, so we have to just kind of let them, all right, you would
Yeah.
never do that. Good for you. You must be a
Exactly.
better person than me.
Yeah.
Let
Whatever. Just let it go. I feel like that's what
it
most
go. Let
let
it
it go.
go.
Oh, we're so good. Can't hold me back anymore. Anyways, I feel like that's the biggest thing widows get judged for is dating. Like
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like that's what it is. I don't really know of a lot of other situations, maybe how they deal with their husband's stuff or wife's stuff after they pass away. They might have be disagreed with the parents, like the in-laws. Or, I have heard some stories about like different wishes for like the remains or
Mm.
different, for the services, they want things different ways. So maybe they're judged about that. I don't know. Do you have any other examples? Because those are the main one is dating
Uh,
that I know of.
for me, it's and maybe it's being a man left to raising the kids.
Oh, yeah.
That I've heard a lot of, well, he shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I wouldn't do that. He needs to not do this. That's bad for the kids and blah blah. And it's not like, um, you know, I've since like really forgiven and felt grace, but just for the sake of that other people might be going through it. I'll mention it, but like, it was like that my kids were sleeping in my bed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I let them do once
Right.
mommy died. And I thought that there was nothing wrong with that, to be honest. And yeah, maybe we stayed up too late sometimes because I like to listen to something as I'm falling
Yeah.
asleep. And so we'd have the TV on, and sometimes my kids would be up late because they would, Luke in particular would pretend to be sleeping until I went to sleep, and then he would get up and watch TV. But I worked on it. I figured those
Yeah.
things out. I worked on them and I fixed them. And those are not problems. They were not problems. They've not been for a long time. But about the things I was feeding my kids. You can't just give your kids chicken nuggets and corn
Oh,
dogs,
I
this and
do
that.
get
I'm
that
like, look,
judgment.
like
Yeah,
I
I
was
got
like,
that
look,
judgment.
like I'm learning how to do something that
Survival.
I never had to do before. I'm trying my best, and it's it was hard because like I was going through grief, a lot of it, and I didn't care. Like it just didn't. It was like, okay, here's calories. Let me go back to
Yeah.
I wasn't making it for myself. I wasn't eating a lot.
Right.
So there was just, it was one of those like, it's really easy to say, it's really easy to point out what I'm doing wrong.
And for me, that
But I
happened.
didn't hear any, but there was nobody there that that saw me get up at 2:30 in the morning with my daughter because she was crying, and I held her and prayed
Right.
with her and talked her through it until 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
Nobody knew about that because nobody gave me a chance to defend how I'm being a good dad, or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
there were just lots of things where it was kind of like it just felt kind of unfair. Just judgments on, that I'm not ready for this yet, that I need counseling before I should do that. And
Oh, right.
um, it was true. Part of it was true, but part of it wasn't. And part of it was like, it just felt really like unfair to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, I've never been through this before. You're forgetting that as I'm walking through this next stage of life that I'm learning how to do, I am also still grieving the loss of my wife. I am also helping my kids grieve the loss of their mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Life is not as simple as it looks to you from the outside, and it's not as simple as I'm presenting it to you, because I'm putting on a strong face for you, because I don't want to bring you guys down to where I'm at. And you don't want this. You don't want to feel what this feels like. You don't want to feel this dark, lonely void that's in my heart right now. And things can get really real really quick if you really want to hear what's in my heart, and so it was there was a lot that that I felt personally, but there was also a lot of things that I've heard that other people have gone through. And life insurance, that everybody feels like. There was somebody was telling me, and just for the sake of privacy I won't say who, but that there was a life insurance policy, and that once she got remarried, they felt like, the family felt like, well, we should get that life insurance policy now, since you're married, since you're getting married again, we should have that. And it's like, what? Like,
that's awful.
And just lots of things like that. And oh gosh, yeah, I know I could think of a lot of things, but
going on the food thing, for me, it was more like when we were in survival mode with Luke, my kids ate really bad. Well, actually, their whole lives, it's been an issue. And, but I've been in survival mode their whole lives, trying to, was working full time, sometimes doing network marketing on top of that, taking care of Luke, raising kids, and so food, and it was just a fight all the time to try to get them to try new foods. So they haven't always eaten the healthiest, and it's kind of, I don't think it's too late, but they're really, they're teenagers, they're not really open to it. But you know what, I see Hayden in college trying new things, so they'll get there eventually. And so I felt really judged during the time when he was sick, and even now they're still, we're not survival mode, but I'm having a hard time getting them to try new foods. And so that's always been difficult for me, feeling judged about the way that they eat. And a lot of it had to do with like just barely surviving. Like, so it was chicken nuggets a lot. It still is, because that's like what we could do and to survive. So I get that. Also have another update.
Okay.
So the same guy, Stay Puft 27.
From your from your phone that was put away?
Yeah, but I checked it again because I just had to see, for the sake of being live on our pod. I was away for a while and then I checked it. So remember I said it's hard for people who aren't widows to understand how we can love both people at once and incorporate the relationships. And he wrote, "You will always love your first husband, and that's totally understandable. Mixing the two relationships is a separate thing, and that's the weird part. But it's not weird to you, so who cares what I think?"
Be like, I agree. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna give it a heart.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
he can think it's weird. He'll hopefully never be a widow. And it's not like I mix them all the time. It's just it's more of like a symbolism.
Who cares? It's you. It's what you and Joel want.
I
know. It has nothing to do with this random dude. You don't have to justify it because that's what you guys wanted. And honestly, me being a widower, and other people I've talked to who are widowed, my girlfriend, think it's really sweet that you guys went that route, and that it's meaningful, and that it says a lot about Joel's character, for one. That he would not feel threatened by that, for start. But it's just like, oh gosh, like, haters gonna hate.
Right. And they don't even know the whole story. Like, it was a decision we came up with together.
Yeah.
So anyways.
And so this is like a perfect example of like, do you carry it around with you?
No, when I'm done, I'll be like, I will hopefully remember to tell Joel, but I won't carry it around. No.
Well, he knows now.
Well, yeah, because he's listening.
Well, come Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
the other day I was like, so what'd you think of the last episode? And he's like, yeah, it was really good. I'm like, what do you really think? He's like, I just still have a hard time being like the center of the topic, like that, when we talk about it was about engagement. He's like, it's still weird for me that you talk about me to all these people. I'm like, well, that's
and so here you are, doing it again and talking about it.
Sorry, Joe, I love you. But so he's marrying, like,
hey, at least for whatever it's worth, Joel. First of all, I totally get that. But at least we think highly of you.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
for whatever that's worth. Like, I know the audience thinks highly of you too, and it's funny that we. Sorry, I'll just stop because like I'm sitting here like talking to him like he's here.
He will be listening.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Good.
I know, but I don't want to contribute to what he's uncomfortable with or what. No, I don't know how to say uncomfortable, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's just I want to be respectful of that. Anyways, so yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but this is something that I've just felt in my bones that a lot of widows needed to hear us talk about. That it's not all flowery and just give it to God, like I mean that's how we should be, right? Yes. That's how we should be. But being real, I can't do that. I get mad at people. I'm like, how dare you? Who do you think you are? Like, you haven't even. So for me, I remember this really sweet girl, Stephanie, a friend's wife. She came over one of the many times, and I was like crying to her that I felt so bad because everything I was going through with Lacey, I had no time but to run out to the kitchen and throw some chicken nuggets in the microwave, put them in front of the kids, and then go back and see what Lacey was calling me in about, what she needed, because it was intense. And I mean, I'd have to say, like, sorry, honey, like I need to go feed the kids real quick, and she needed me, and so she needed me to hurry back because she was really uncomfortable and needed me to try to reposition her, but the kids are yelling, they're hungry. And so I remember telling her, I was like, I feel so bad that like all I'm giving the kids is chicken nuggets and frozen pizza. And she's like, hey, chicken nuggets and frozen pizza are just fine. They'll be fine. And I was like, I just remember just bawling. I was like, I needed to hear that. Like, yeah, because I felt horrible about it. Right? But I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do everything. Like, like nobody, even the people that were coming regularly, I'm like, you have no idea what it feels like to be in my shoes right now. This is insanity. Like, I'm being pulled in every which direction 24 hours a day, literally. Like, I'm taking a couple naps a night and that's it. It was insane. And so I needed somebody to tell me that, like, I had people telling me I was a great husband and I was sacrificing for her and blah, all these wonderful things. But like, I needed somebody to tell me that what I was doing as a dad was okay too. Because I felt terrible, because being real, like my kids got ignored a lot during that season because my wife was in desperate need of my care and attention. And so the kids watched a lot of TV. The best thing I could do for them was I made sure it was always educational shows. But I'm sure there were people saying that all my kids do is watch TV. And I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be in my shoes. And so that's the thing we have to remember, is that and I have since learned, gosh, I'm so grateful. I'd pray, Lord, I'm so grateful that they don't know. Please allow me to like not hate them, because I want to be so angry and bitter at something. And please, like, let it not be these people that I love and care about, but they're, I don't know. Anyways, it's it's hard to talk about things that you've totally like forgiven and moved past without feeling like you're still not harboring negative feelings about those things. But I really don't. But for those people in the audience, like, I want you to know the things that happen and to have examples of, things I've heard and see. And there's lots more, to be honest. And I'd be really curious what a lot of the widows in the audience would, that are just like wanting us to know right now, like that they've experienced the kind of hate that they've experienced that we're not even thinking of right now. And anyways, so tell us about the online hate. What's going on over there?
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Well, let me refresh it. There might be something. Just a bunch more people liking the video. That's all. No, I just left it. Well, I'm not saying anything else to Puffy or Stay Puffed, whatever.
Stay Puffed. You know who that is?
No, I don't know the person.
No, but Stay Puffed. You know what that is? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Oh, see, I would have never. I thought it had something to do with smoking. I didn't.
It might be connected to that. That might be their clever thing. I don't know.
Got it. Anyways, well, I think we covered a lot about haters gonna hate.
Yeah, I think so. So just to close it out.
Yeah.
Something positive.
Okay.
How would you sum up the hate?
It doesn't really matter. Like, you have to think about, is this coming from somebody that has any value in my life? Like, I guess, okay, so I'm thinking online right now. So yeah, but even if it is someone close, again, you shake it off, like they don't understand, and just let it go. Like, I just totally let it go and do something else and not think about it, because I understand that they don't know. They don't know. And so I just release it. And if I need to pray about it, go for a walk, go for a run, like whatever you need to do to move forward. Maybe you need to talk to another widow about it. Like, email us, talk to somebody, like, oh, this is really hard for me. Have you ever experienced this? And that can help too, just talking through it. Like, I know that, Stacy, who we've had on here, and our friend Jess, the three of us are close friends and all widows. And I love being like, hey, I went through this. Have you been through this? And just having somebody else to talk to about what we're going through, and that it could be unique to widows and not to the rest of our friends.
Yeah, I'd be really curious, especially Stacy being widowed twice. I'd really wonder what she would have to say on this topic. That'd be really, really fascinating. Honestly, this is one of those topics, like, I just want to hear everybody's opinion on this.
Yeah.
It's just, I find it so fascinating.
We should make a post on our Facebook page.
Yeah. Tell us about the hate you've experienced.
Yeah. Like, when we release this, and then they could put it in the comments, something about, I don't know, or something like that.
Yeah. I find that very interesting. And, like I said, I've known of some, and there's just things I don't want to say for other people's privacy and things like that. And, the things that I've experienced, I again would like to say that I've talked about it with, people, and, it was totally squashed and, understood where each other was coming from, kind of a thing. But I just wanted to bring it up because I know some people would be possibly experiencing that. So anyways, I think we went quite a bit over on this episode. Sorry, folks. I think we're an hour and 20 minutes on this one.
I think it's an hour and 10.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry, y'all. All y'all.
Hey, you don't need to be sorry, because if they don't want to listen, they can turn it off. But bam.
That's true. They're not like, oh my gosh, will you finish already? Just
they don't have to be here. This is in school. They can just turn it off.
Don't tell them that. What if they didn't know that? Now you just told them that.
Now they know they don't have to be here. And
there goes all our listeners.
This is our school. Widow Too Soon school. Okay. The class you are in. No, it's a great start. Listen, the class you are in today is Haters Gonna Hate. We should have a quiz. What do you do when a hater hates?
Are haters going to hate? Yes or no?
Haters
hate. Yes. Is that true or false?
Anyways, would you like to wrap it up?
Yes.
Close us out in prayer.
I will wrap it up.
Okay, you do it.
Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to acknowledge that we know that vengeance is yours, and that it is not our place to give hate for hate, and that is definitely, absolutely the opposite of what we are called to do. We are called to love. That being said, I acknowledge that we are foolish humans and make mistakes, and you can even hear it in this episode that we harbor anger and certain feelings towards people judging us, and we pray for hearts more like Christ's. because we fall short. Oh, we fall so short every single day, every single hour, every single minute. We fall short of your precious glory. And we just pray that you would mold us into being one more like your son, and that we would learn to have the purest, most forgiving and loving, kind hearts, and that we would just be so thankful that these people just don't know, and that would be our truest heart, that we would just be like, oh gosh, I'm so thankful they don't know. And I pray for those hearts for each and every one of us, Lord. I pray that you allow us to just forgive people who hurt our feelings, and and allow us to not hurt other people's feelings, and not be abrasive, and not take things personally, and just have grace that a lot of people just don't know. And so I pray and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Before I say my
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Wait,
What?
before I say my normal words, I wanted to say something I thought of. When haters hate, sometimes it's a chance to educate. Boom, mic drop.
Congratulate.
Why would it be a time to congratulate when haters hate?
Well, it rhymes.
Yeah, but it doesn't go with it. Yeah, I meant like educate them on like being a widow.
That's true. Okay, but anyways, I like it. If
you like this podcast, give us a little bing, 5 stars, review it, blah, blah, blah. The things. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all the places. You can email us.
Do all the things.
All the things. This is all in the notes too. The show notes. You can email us at widowtoosoon@gmail.com.
Y'all aren't doing the things.
What things? Emailing us?
I don't know. I'm just
sometimes there have been some emails. I'm sorry if we haven't responded. We will get to it. We're both very busy right now, but we do read them.
Yes.
The best way to get a response is Facebook Messenger, like on our Widowed Too Soon page. Send a message there. Mark's on it. And
I'm trying.
Once in a while, I'm on it too.
I'm studying so much, and I just have a lot going on right now.
Just know we want to hear from you.
Send it. We want to hear it. Just please don't expect immediate replies, because we're trying our best.
Because we have a life outside of this.
Yeah, because this isn't our job.
This isn't our job.
Now, if we don't get paid. Some super wealthy person out there that wants to, fund us, then we will do this full time, and we'll respond to you right away.
Full time.
All the time. Full the time. All of the time.
It's hard to work for free, but
yeah,
we love it.
We try.
Love it.
It's our service.
It's our service. Okay. Anyways, well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.